Star Wars movies. I was going to do every single Star Wars project, but I realized something, that just about every single Star Wars series is either mid, bad, or slightly decent. So that's not even worth talking about. But when we talk about Star Wars movies, okay, I'm going to awaken a monster. I've ranked all the Marvel movies. I've ranked all the DC movies. I don't normally do a lot of movie content. I've kind of been sticking with like the historical aura videos, and the aura videos are doing pretty good. But I don't want to milk that too much. No, we're going to do another movie one. And it's going to be Star Wars movies. From everything from the original trilogy to the prequel trilogy to the controversial sequel trilogy, and we are going to rank them on very simply how good I think they are. I'm also throwing in Solo and Rogue One because I do believe they need to be brought up, because there's a lot of discourse in the Star Wars community that honestly we're going to be getting into a lot. There's going to be some based opinions, controversial opinions, and a whole lot of nostalgia whipped through this video, okay? But before we get into it, before this long-winded intro, thank you guys for getting me to 60,000 subscribers. I want to throw this in at the beginning to not like do it in at the end where most people like drop off. Thank you for 60,000 subscribers. That's honestly insane for a dude that just rants about random stuff he finds interesting. But apparently people, I can say now without sounding kind of braggadocious, people like that content. I think that's safe to say. So I'm just going to give you more of it, okay? This is your channel. I'm but the host of it. And I know because I said that, there is going to be at least 100 comments of people asking me to make a race tier list. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is free engagement, and it is kind of funny. It makes me laugh. But, before we open that can of worms, let's get into ranking every single Star Wars movie. And if you want to support the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. My goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers by my birthday, near the tail end of July. Hopefully, before the release of GTA 6. That's my dream. And you guys are making my dreams come true. And understand, I know I make the videos, but literally none of this is possible without you guys, okay? Y'all are the ones that make this possible. I'm just the guy that makes the videos. And with all that out of the way, let's get into ranking Star Wars movies. Let's go. The Phantom Menace. Yes, we're going to start from where they take place in the timeline, because I don't remember the release order of all of these when we're talking about Solo and Rogue One. So let's get into this, okay? Phantom Menace. Controversial take. Phantom Menace is arguably the worst Star Wars movie ever. I tried rewatching it recently because, yeah, me and my brother, we are huge Star Wars fans. But here's the problem. The Phantom Menace is such a tough watch as your first movie. Understand this, okay? I was watching, like, this podcast. I forget what it was. I think they were, like, the Comic Book Bros. Oh, my goodness. It's going to bother me that I don't remember it. But they were talking about how if you're going to introduce somebody new to Star Wars and you start with the Phantom Menace, you are not going to have a new fan. You have to do the original trilogy first, because the original trilogy is almost perfect. Yeah, it's a little bit outdated, but the Phantom Menace is just a bad movie that looks better. That's about it. Like, what the pros of this movie? Let's go over the pros, okay? The pros of this movie is that it has a cool final fight scene with Darth Maul. Everything else is mid, okay? And if we're gonna go through Star Wars lore, I guess it's young Obi-Wan Kenobi, his master Qui-Gon Jinn, and then you get to see where Anakin Skywalker is born before he becomes what he becomes. And then, like, the Jedi realize that the Sith are back because of Darth Maul, which is like the apprentice to Darth Sidious. Yeah. There's a lot going on in this movie. I mean, it's a starting point. I'm not going to say a good starting point. It's a starting point. I'm not a fan of this movie. I would actually put it, is it the worst? You can argue it's the worst and I wouldn't be too mad at you. However, in my opinion, it's just a bad movie. It's just bad. Like, if you're going to start rewatching, I'm going to tell you something. I have rewatched Star Wars so many times. Every single time, I elect to either completely skip Phantom Menace or just be on my phone the entire time, and that can be the background noise. I don't even pick my eyes up out of my phone until the final fight scene of this movie. Other than that, I'm not interested. Bad. Also, Jar Jar Binks is in this movie, and, yeah, that. Bad. Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Now, there's a few opinions in my comment section, okay, on the community page that were saying the Clone Wars is the worst movie. Okay. Maybe a bad take. The Clone Wars is the perfect middle ground of Star Wars. Hear me out, okay? Is it a good movie? No. It's not a good movie. It has a few great scenes, though. Okay, I'm sorry. Count Dooku and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight. No. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting Count Dooku. Oh, amazing scene. Yoda finally doing his like sword fighting for the first time in the entirety of Star Wars. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. However, then you have these lines like, "I don't like sand." Okay, yeah, that's another thing. I am convinced that George Lucas never touched a woman in his life outside of like one person he got with because they were a fan. Because I'm sorry, for you to hear the line, "I don't like sand," and then for us to be like, "Oh yeah, this is a good relationship." Yeah, I don't think you're around women that often. Like people just don't talk like that. Like I get it, like this isn't like modern day or like it's set in like this is not a conversation. If somebody looked at me in the eyes and they're like, I don't like sand, like, I'm going to be real with you. Watching it back now, low-key, I think Anakin Skywalker was a little slow. Not that slow. Actually, not slow. I'm not going to use that word. Not because it's problematic. No. I'm not going to use that word because I don't fit it. Anakin Skywalker probably has a touch of autism. Unironically, he sounds like I used to sound when I was talking to a girl in middle school. Like, you're just trying to cross the wires here. Yeah, no, that's how I feel about Anakin Skywalker. Like, maybe, now looking back on it, he never really talked to a woman because Jedi is kind of a sausage, like the Jedi Order is kind of a sausage fest. Maybe. I don't know. No, it's still bad, though. It's still bad writing. Like I'm not going to give you that much of the benefit of the doubt. However, the set pieces of the Clone Wars hard carry it whenever we're comparing it to other movies. The Phantom Menace has one good sword fight, one good lightsaber duel, and that's with Darth Maul. This has Count Dooku, and on top of that, it has the Colosseum scene. It has Mace Windu just destroying Jango Fett. The fight scene between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan, and the chase scene at the beginning of the movie. So good. However, I'll explain it in the next one. I'm going to put this in Matt. I think it's in mid, because I think it's a perfect middle-of-the-line Star Wars movie. It is the most mid of them all. Not mid as in bad, but mid as in it's just average. It's an average movie in all. You'll be entertained by it. You aren't going to be that bored, but if you are bored, you're going to be entertained in a second. Revenge of the Sith. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is a controversial take because I have realized that the majority of my audience is either my age or slightly younger than me. I'm 22 years old, okay? I grew up watching Revenge of the Sith. The prequels were our thing. Nostalgia all the way through, okay? Revenge of the Sith is a great movie. I would say Revenge of the Sith is not even arguably, is in the top 3 best Star Wars movies. Yep. I'll explain. You'll find out by the end of the video. I need you to hear me out real quick. The reason that Revenge of the Sith is so widely loved by the fan base is because Phantom Menace is not that good of a movie. Clone Wars is a mid movie. Revenge of the Sith is unreasonably good. Is there some cheese there? Yeah, there's some cheese. There's some weird dialogue, yeah. But how good this movie is, how climactic the final battle is, how good the music is, okay? The battle between Grievous and Kenobi, the battle between Anakin and Kenobi, the turning of Anakin into Darth Vader. Dude, Darth Sidious, okay? The Emperor fighting all of those Jedi. There are so many set pieces in this movie that are so good it defined a whole generation, okay? If I say Order 66, you know exactly where that's from. You cannot even be a Star Wars fan. If I say, we got to Order 66, that, you'll be like, oh, I understand what that is. This is, okay, now this is my controversial take. This being in top 3 isn't controversial. Maybe this is a controversial take. Revenge of the Sith is the best final movie out of any Star Wars trilogy ever. Yup. I think Revenge of the Sith is better than Return of the Jedi. I think Revenge of the Sith no-diffs the Rise of Skywalker to the point where it's between masterclass and average. My controversial take come down to, I think Revenge of the Sith is a better movie than Return of the Jedi. That's my big controversial take of the video, but it's slight. Revenge of the Sith is cinema. It's a cinematic movie. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a few that are in cinema, But Revenge of the Sith is one of, if not my favorite Star Wars movies of all time. I will still watch it to this day. Love this movie so much. A New Hope. Now we're going into the original trilogy. Okay, let me just say this right now. I have heard so many people break down how A New Hope is actually one of the greatest movies of all time. And here's the thing. I love this movie. I do. This movie's gonna go up very, very high, okay? I think it already has to go in cinema based off what it started. I think it just gets grandfathered in. My only problem with this movie is that it really sows its age when you get into the lightsaber duel. I've heard so many people try to justify that. No, I'm sorry, you gotta bend the knee on this one. The reason that they were dueling like that is because the lightsaber was literally made out of a glass rod. Yes, they were worried that they were going to break the lightsaber, and the budget was so low on this movie that if they broke it, it would actually, financially destroy them, okay? You don't have to justify it to, I already know why the duel is so bad between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Why? Because they were saving money. How this sets up everything, the grittiness of the universe, the world building of the universe, okay? I love it. I do. I love this movie. It's a cinematic masterpiece. I think it has to go up there. Is it the best Star Wars movie of all time? No. But I will bend the knee on this one. Although I enjoy Revenge of the Sith more, Star Wars A New Hope has to go above it. Just because of its impact, it has to go up there. But I understand why people enjoy Revenge of the Sith more because it's just more of an entertaining movie. The Empire Strikes Back. The best Star Wars movie of all time is Empire Strikes Back. Yup! There we go. The best Star Wars movie of all time is Empire Strikes Back, okay? If you want me to rank movies on how much I enjoy them, it is Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and then we'll get into some of the other ones. Though that's my top two. My personal top two. Actually, I'm going to put this as my top two. If a film purist wants to get mad at me for this, get mad at me for this. I already explained to you why. Empire Strikes Back is such a great movie, dude. It holds up today. The duel is good. The set pieces are good. The special effects are great. They had the same dude who worked on Jurassic Park and the miniature, how they did the 80s and the T-Rex in the original Jurassic Park. Yeah, that same dude did this movie. Okay, and you can tell. Darth Vader is menacing in this movie. The duel between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Han Solo, in his whole set piece of being frozen in carbonite. Boba Fett! Boba Fett Boba Fett was a no-name character and immediately became a fan favorite because of Empire Strikes Back. Why? Because he looked cool. It is that simple, okay? That's how good this movie was. It's the best one. I'm sorry I gotta do it, but you guys want to know what the worst one is, and I'll tell you what the worst one is in a second. We still gotta get there. But I'm putting Empire Strikes Back in cinema, okay? Return of the Jedi. I know I don't understand why I keep on saying controversial opinion, but I kind of already told you. I think Return of the Jedi is the worst movie of the original trilogy. A New Hope is... No. Empire Strikes Back is the best. A New Hope is the second. The worst one of the three is Return of the Jedi because it is one of the few movies where if you watch it, you're like, ooh, we are kind of going fast to the end. There's a lot of stuff that they have to get out of the way very quickly. You find out that Leia is the sister of Luke in the same movie that they're supposed to be a softcore love interest. Okay? That's how quickly it was. Okay? 100% they realized that they were only going to do 3 movies and they were like, oh, we got to go fast. We got to go fast here. That's how I feel in this movie. They bring back Han Solo. Lando comes out of nowhere. I'm saying all of this, but it's still one of the best. It's still one of the best Star Wars movies. It's just the worst of the original trilogy, and if we're comparing it to the best of the best, I'm actually going to put it in good. It's not quite cinema in my eyes. It's not quite there. It's almost there. I think Revenge of the Sith, I think that's a better movie than Return of the Jedi. Wow, that will make or break it for a lot of people in the comment section. But actually, I don't know. There's a lot of people that are the same age as me, and they have the same opinion here. There was a lot of you that said that Revenge of the Sith was the best movie of all the Star Wars movies. And I wouldn't even go that far. I still think Empire Strikes Back is the best one. The Force Awakens. Okay, now we made it into the sequel trilogy. okay? I went on a rant a few videos ago where I said some pretty crazy things about Kylo Ren. And I'm still going to bring it up because I think the sequel trilogy needs to be studied or Star Wars is going to die, because there are some very, very obvious things that they did wrong that people don't want to acknowledge that they did wrong, and I will point it out to you. But The Force Awakens is a good movie. Yes, that's a controversial opinion now. The Force Awakens is a good movie. Why? Because it rips off A New Hope. And that's not a bad thing. Okay? If you're gonna rip off a movie in your own franchise. Brother, George Lucas was famous for this. He wants each of the trilogies to be a reflection of that. It's like poetry. It's meant to rhyme but be slightly different. And that is what The Force Awakens is to me. Okay? It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm entertained by The Force Awakens. Now I'm gonna get into some of my problems that it's honestly just a problem with this movie. Kylo Ren's a bitch, dude. What the? Kylo Ren? How do you open up the movie with having Force so powerful that you can freeze a blaster bolt in air, yet you have the dueling ability of a fucking toddler, okay? I believe this. I believe the younglings that got no-diffed by Youngling Slayer 6000 and and Anakin Skywalker, I believe that youngling, unironically, would no-diff Kylo Ren in a duel. Not even a question in my eyes. Oh my gosh! Kylo Ren is the worst duelist in the entirety. You have a blade that is actually meant to make you better at dueling. However, I am going to say this. If you were going to make a blade that was meant to catch a lightsaber, you would make the guard sabers not like this, but like this, and you would actually be able to guard it. And it would look cooler, by the way. So, you have that. Okay? You are one of the most powerful Force users ever, okay? Hear me. And then Rey, coming out of a random dust planet, picks up a lightsaber for the second time. In total, was probably using the lightsaber for 15 minutes. It's you! Kylo Ren, you suck! You are so bad! You are the worst villain ever! Because there's no menacing quality here. What's he gonna do? I'm breaking your mind. Okay. Kylo Ren is... he's so bad. Oh my gosh. He's like... Imagine if we opened up A New Hope with Luke Skywalker literally curb-stomping Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader came back in the next movie and was like, so you survived our first duel. No, he beats your ass! Oh my gosh! Rey should have strolled up to the second duel like, how's your face, bud? How's your face, okay? Bro, blew up your fucking planet, beat your ass with your own family's lightsaber, and you want to talk to me like you're better than me? You suck, bro. Nepo baby of the Star Wars universe you are. Ooh, you're so... Oh, Kylo Ren is so bad, dude. Oh my gosh. I can understand why Rey has better, like, a higher midichlorian count. I understand that. That makes sense to me that she would win the Force pull. That makes sense, okay? I get that. She won a duel against a guy who was training his entire life with a lightsaber after she had it for 15 minutes. That is so dumb. Idiotic, actually. And then he beats... Oh my gosh, dude. It's a good movie. I don't want that rant to get in the way, but I'm going to be ranting more about it when we get to The Last Jedi. I'm just going to prepare myself. And it's a good thing I got a palate cleanser right after this, because I need to calm down. I'm going to put it in good. In good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Rogue One! Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Rogue One is a great movie. I love Rogue One, dude. I don't want to go into this, but there's a fan base within the Star Wars fan base that's like, the only reason you dislike the sequel trilogy is you don't like that the main lead is a woman. Why is Rogue One of the most loved Star Wars movies, idiot? And yes, I will actually call you an idiot. Why is Rogue One of the most loved Star Wars movies then? Tell me. No, tell me. Like, I'm curious now. Tell me why. Like, I'm trying to have, like, a bro conversation. But it's like, you're gonna come at it being, like, super intellectually dishonest here. No, Rey is actually overhated at this point. But Rogue One has Jyn Erso, okay? And all the homies love Jyn Erso, okay? We all do. We all love her, man. Rogue One's a great movie, okay? And it didn't have to lean on Darth Vader being in it, but it was just cool to have that hallway scene, okay? It's a great movie. It is a dark, gritty Star Wars story, and it sold and did very well, but they just didn't really want to do it again. I love Rogue One. I will rewatch this movie, and I know I said I was going to do it in timeline order. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. This is actually in order of how they released. So, but that's a slight difference. I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One is one of the better movies. I'm going to put Rogue One at the above Force Awakens. Yeah, I think Rogue One's a better movie than The Force Awakens. I think Force Awakens is good. I think Rogue One is better. I can't put it above Return of the Jedi because Rogue One is not quite cinema. But Rogue One is so good. It's so good. I might actually rewatch that again. Yeah, I think I'm going to rewatch that movie again today. It's so good. The Last Jedi. Okay. Okay, now let me tell you why that's my reaction to this. I think The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. I don't think if you tried, you can make a worse Star Wars movie. I legitimately don't know how you did this bad, okay? And I think The Last Jedi is the reason why the sequel trilogy is ultimately... I don't want to say a failure because it made a good amount of money. I'm not going to say a failure, but it ultimately was underwhelming at its conclusion. You want to know why? Because Return of the Jedi literally took anything that was interesting about the sequel trilogy and beat it in with a fucking lead pipe and then curb stomped it until it cried for its mother. Okay? I'm being 100% serious here. The Last Jedi is such a, not just a bad Star Wars movie, it's just a bad film. It's a bad fucking film. I will debate anybody on this subject, okay? The Last Jedi is not just bad, it's the worst Star Wars movie ever made. You want to know? I'm gonna keep on saying it, okay? Because it kills anything interesting. Snoke? Oh yeah, who's Snoke? Whack him! Get rid of him! Who cares about Snoke? We're gonna make Kylo Ren have a softcore love interest with Rey, and then we're gonna be like, okay, but like, who's the villain? Oh yeah, we're supposed to make a final movie. Oh my gosh, it's like they forgot they had to make a final movie. Luke Skywalker, I can understand Luke Skywalker being a hermit, but like, I'm sorry. You gotta introduce more. It doesn't make really much sense that he would seclude himself completely out of the Force. That's a little bit weird considering this man literally fought the fucking Empire. Okay, he went out of his way to do that, and then one of his former pupils starts it and kills all... Like, I understand why Luke is bitter. What doesn't make sense to me is he literally left all his friends to, at this point, die because he doesn't want to get involved. Like, no, bro. Like, that's where it's dumb with me. I think they fucked over Luke Skywalker's character in that aspect. Do I think it's completely destroyed? No. I don't like how they made it where, like... It would be different if he was, like, stranded and he couldn't get back. That would be different. No. Like, come on. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's really dumb. Yeah, no, Luke Skywalker's character, I feel like they didn't really understand it. Leia having the Force, that's cool. I think that's a cool one. Everything else is stupid about this movie. Rose is the most useless fucking character of all time. Finn is a useless character. That one pilot dude basically does nothing this entire movie. The one captain that turns their entire starship into effectively a kamikaze pilot. Yeah, that's cool, but like that would have been really fucking useful literally at any other point ever. And I know somebody said, "Oh, well they have blaster shields." It's like, dude, if you launched a rock at light speed at a planet, you would destroy a large portion of that planet. If I had a full spaceship and launched that at the speed of light at a planet, I would blow it up. It makes the Death Star not make sense. Why the fuck did you make a Death Star if we could do this at any fucking time? I thought it was like some weird war crimes thing, but even then it was like, I'll suspend my disbelief. The fact that this can be done and that nobody ever fucking did it again is stupid. It's dumb. You introduce something that you had no business introducing because now it ruins every other thing. Because now it's like, why would I create another planet-destroying mega weapon if I can just launch something at light speed at a planet and then just destroy it? Like, that's stupid. That's so dumb. Oh, yeah, it's a terrible movie. Like, where the fuck do you go after this? The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever to be made. I don't think you can make a worse movie than this. It's a bad movie. Everybody that made it, like, in the directing position, I think they should be cut from making Star Wars ever again. It's the worst movie. Not even close. The Phantom Menace it's 10 times as good as The Last Jedi is. The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. I'm just going to continue to say that till the cows come home. Solo. Okay. I think Solo is a overhated movie, but it introduces stuff that are ultimately pretty useless. Okay, like, I'm going to just say this right now. I think Han Solo's character works better the more vague that he is. Okay, and I ultimately think the Solo movie's just not needed at all, and they just wanted to make a cool movie about Han Solo, but it really just comes down to, it's like, yeah, but like, we didn't really need it. Like, that's how I feel about this movie, honestly. It's a good movie, it has good set pieces, it has a cool heist. I think a Star Wars heist movie's really good, but like, it's also like, it's not needed. That's how I feel about this movie. Like, I like it, but it's a pretty like, yeah, but like, I could have done without this, and honestly, it might have been better if you just kept it as vague as possible. It's a good movie. I think it's mid, ultimately. I would hold it in the same regard as Attack of the Clones. Okay? I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's almost bad, but it's mid. I'm gonna say mid. The Rise of Skywalker, final one. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I'm saying all that not because I hate filming this video, but because when we get me talking about the sequel trilogy, I go to dark places. Okay. I think the Rise of Skywalker is as good of a final movie as you can possibly make. Listen, I'm sorry. One of the first thing that happens in this movie is you find out that Palpatine somehow survived. Palpatine somehow returned is an unironic line that was made for this movie. When people hate on the sequel trilogy, they hate on the wrong movies. Understand this. This is as good of a movie as you could have possibly have gotten. The Last Jedi is such a terrible, mind-numbingly awful piece of fiction that it literally killed every possible plot point that this movie could have had of being original. I'm sorry. There is no possible way that when they started the sequel trilogy, they thought to themselves that, oh yeah, we're gonna have Palpatine return. They never ever thought that. This was something completely new. They never thought that this was going to happen. It just so happened to turn out like that because it was J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and then J.J. Abrams when they were directing this movie. They did not plan this out. They were fucked by the second movie, and then they said, okay, we need a villain. We're not going to bring back Snoke. We're going to bring back Palpatine and say fuck it. Also, Rey is so inconceivably overpowered. Where it's not just that she's good with the Force and good with, like lightsabers, okay? She literally is just using Force abilities that would be a plot device in any other movie ever. Like, I'm sorry, the reason that people get so angry about Force healing is because Force healing would literally stop the entirety of Darth Vader and the Empire if somebody just did it. It is a Deus Ex Machina, okay? It is the biggest plot device of all time, okay? I get it. Why you did it. I understand that she's a powerful Force user, but then we're getting to the place of not one person had the ability to heal anybody there. And then somebody's gonna quote something in Star Wars Legends or a book that was made after the fact. No! They didn't know what they were writing, and then they put a plot device in it, and then they paid somebody fucking pennies to write a book to get themselves out of a plot hole that they ripped. That's how I feel about these movies. You can't justify it with Legends because Disney themselves says that Legends does not matter. So I'm sorry, if you're gonna use a legend or something that's vaguely canon to justify a plot device, I'm not taking you seriously. There is so much stuff that comes out of nowhere in the sequel trilogy. Like Palpatine had a kid, and that kid had a kid, and that is Rey. There's a ancient Sith cult on this planet outside of the planetary rim, and we're just not gonna play with it. Who the fuck are these people? What about the rule of two? Oh, well, in this book, in Legends, that doesn't matter already. Disney already said none of that's canon, so everything that you said is bullshit, by the way, and you're just spouting it to bootlick Disney. That's how I feel about it. Finn is useless, again. Oh, wait, that's another thing. I'm gonna harp on that. My last big rant before I put it in a rating. Finn is the most useless character in Star Wars outside of maybe Jar Jar Binks. You want to know why? Because they told the actor that played Finn that he was going to be the next Mace Windu and he was going to be a Jedi by the end of the sequel trilogy. And then he wasn't, and then the actor is still mad at Disney and refuses to work with them, and then people say, no, he's just a hater. No, they fucking lied to him to get him into a role. Disney lies, who knows? Oh my gosh, bro. Debating the how good the sequel trilogies are with people is so annoying, because it's like, it's not that it's terrible. No, it's just that it's not great. It's barely good. I'm putting this at the bottom of good, almost mid. Almost mid. I think this is as good as... Actually, no. I'm putting The Last Jedi top of mid. I think this is as good as you possibly could have gotten, and it's an entertaining movie. But outside of that, it's a nothing burger of a movie with one of the cringiest final lines of any Star Wars movie ever. Yes. I am Rey Skywalker. Shut the fuck up. Honestly, yes, shut up. You're Rey Palpatine. It would have been so much better in writing that she took the last name of Palpatine and was going to make the legacy of the last name Palpatine not of evil, but of good. But no, we're going to co-opt the Skywalker name because you killed them all. Yes, Rey's actions inadvertently caused the death of the entirety of the Skywalker clan. And you took their last name! No! Oh my, I'm sorry. I get fired up. It's mid. It's mid. And there you go. That is me ranking every single Star Wars movie. Okay, is Star Wars overrated? I guess we'll never know. Unless somebody comments in the comment section. Okay? Don't let my rants perturb you. I enjoy making these videos. It gives me an outlet to rant about things that are annoying about me. And I do love Star Wars. I think Star Wars has promise, but I think there's some very simple issues that could be solved, but they're just not gonna do it because it's Disney. So yeah, that's my Star Wars rant for I don't even know how long this video is. Let's hope not too long. If you want to support the channel further, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by my birthday in July. I think we're going to be able to do it because we're at 60,000 right now. Thank you for the support that you give this channel, and I will see you all in the next video. And if you have a suggestion for a video, put it in the comment section down below. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all, and have a good day. And may the Force be with you. Yes, I am going to say that.